Wow, everybody. So I'm doing a video today. I'm just, again, I talked about some of this, I think, on the last video. And pardon me if my words aren't that coherent because I am 100% sleep deprived, like more than I realized until last night. I've been running purely on adrenaline. I also feel like I'm dying because I'm going up a hill. But today's our first sunny day in a long time, and my Daisy wanted to go for a walk, didn't you, hon? And so I drove right down, even though it's only a quarter of a mile, where I usually walk to access the winery, because the other neighbors, they seem nice, but they're new, and their St. Bernard came running out after Asher and me the other day. Luckily, I told him to stay, and he did, but also I picked up Asher and was trying to hold him, and my shoe came undone. It was quite a drama, but anyway, it's been crazy. But I even had Lexi take the day off today because she had cleared her calendar, which I deeply appreciate, and we all did kind of like to do what we called crisis operations with Daisy's first response to the puppies. But I feel so great. I cannot explain to you guys. She's actually being, to some degree, I can't say better. Willow was a perfect mom, and even Willow had like one or so growl where I absolutely panicked just knowing, because it was Willow and she has always been fiery, whereas Daisy hasn't. But Willow growled, and I later figured out it might have been that she was growling at a fly, not at the puppies, because she was just hypersensitive. But anyway, now Daisy is almost becoming maybe even a better mom. I'm really glad she walked, but she was to the point where it was just truly incredible, you guys. She's just completely transformed. So some of it could have been calcium. That's what all the breeders say, and breeders have a lot of knowledge. So what I did is I just over supplemented the calcium anyway. But part of me wonders if that's just lore, L-O-R-E, so to speak, because, you know, if everybody's always been supplementing with calcium, but then it's something different and the hormones just kick in, which is what I think happened, is Daisy was truly, I believe, there goes Asher back to poo-poo, in shock, because she had, like I pointed out, and I'm pretty sure I'm being redundant now, but my mentors have said they've never had, and the Airedale people said that too, never had 10 puppies in an hour. And for her size to even have 10 puppies is really, I think, frankly, mind-boggling. And the puppies aren't small. The first guy that came out, they're I would say they're smaller than I'm used to having, I guess, but come on this way. But the first guy that came out was definitely the same size or close to as most all the puppies we have. And in comparison to the other 9, he looked really large, except for the one guy who passed immediately with the aspiration. He was large too. He'd been out of the sack and stuff. But again, and I don't mean to say I was like hoping for attrition, but I just felt like, how could Daisy sustain 10, although her sweet little Minty passed, and I thought maybe she was going to end up sustaining 9. But and then I now worry about my last little guy, but I think he'll be fine too. He's a little bit small. Oh God, there's the real idiot neighbor that I can't stand, so hopefully they'll stay away from my car, because God knows I don't want to be dealing with something with Daisy in this situation. I parked at my other friend's house, so it's not their property, so hopefully they'll stay away. But these people, God, you guys, they moved. We're so grateful. The house sold on October 26th, and they're still squatting. And they made an arrangement with the new people that they would be staying there. Nobody else in the neighborhood knows how long it's for, but we all can't wait to get rid of them. It's not just me, they're pains in the asses, but pardon my French. But the big thing is, again, I'm trying to avoid. Daisy wanted to go off the property because that's what they're used to, and I'm afraid she was getting bored. Good boy, Ash. Come on, guys. Anyway, you guys, domestic bliss is happening, is what I'm saying right now, and I'm more grateful than I can even convey. And yes, I did a ton of research, and I was taking everything one goal at a time. Like, the first goal was nurse without a muzzle. That happened much quicker than we thought. I think she only wore the muzzle like a day, and then she never had to wear a muzzle again. But then we had after that, sorry, I'm distracted now thinking about how am I going to get back to the car if the neighbor is playing his dickwad games again. where he tries to block me. But that's not his property, so I don't think he will do that. But I just, I don't know. And I've just got to be brave. But anyway, sad that I have to deal with anything like this right now. But watch out, it's so muddy here. We have had so much rain, as everybody who's been listening to the news probably knows, so I have to be careful. But anyway, so that was my first goal. Second goal then became get her to, what was it, be used to the puppies by her head, because she was then in nursing bliss, but she didn't want them by her head. Then the third goal became, okay, she's letting them by her head, no problem. Oh, and then it became like cleaning them, because then she was licked the pee, but she absolutely was disdained by the poop. Now it's caviar to her, so that's a joy too. She licks the poop and everything, which I never thought I'd be happy for, but especially because Daisy puts everything in her mouth. It's so funny that she had complete disgust at that. Then we had a next goal of getting her to jump in the pen when all the puppies were down, because then she got good when I had them in this Rubbermaid. I had to just invent so much. So anyway, I am pretty much proud of myself, I will say, for all the work that I had to put in to do that, and the strategy, but the research too, because the research and my vet, even though I always put stock in what breeders say, my vet and the research was telling me it wasn't calcium deficiency. Again, I still supplemented her, and it's not going to hurt anyway with 9 puppies. And a couple of my breeder friends said they didn't think so either, but I'm pretty convinced my vet was right, that she just didn't know what hit her with that many puppies coming that quickly, and one of them being a lot of really hurting her. It just shocked her, and it took her a while to kind of understand what hit her on a psychological point of view. But then on top of that, there was the physiological, all the hormones, I think, that were not quite settled yet and processed. And so the great story is she's doing amazing, and she's truly completely maternal now, and she's got a ton of milk, as you can probably see. So I've backed off the fenugreek, because I was giving her that to supplement, because again, we were always back and forth on, okay, is this too little milk coming? We didn't know, and all of that. I'm talking like it was a decade ago, but this is only, they're heading into their 8th day of life. So, and the puppies are absolutely gorgeous. Just a report on the puppies is, they're gorgeous. And the little guy that I'm hoping will make it for sure, I'm calling him Tiny Tiger for Tiger Lily, because he's so cute, and he looks like a mini Asher, like he's going to have the best of Daisy and Asher. Oh, come here, Daisy. I mean, you can never tell now. You make your guesses, and wait, Daisy, here. Last litter, I was right about the pics of the litter, male and female both, especially male. He's turning out exquisite. I mean, usually I'm right, to be honest, but you can't tell this early. But this time, if I had to put my favorites on, I love the little guy, because he's adorable, and he's so small compared to everybody. But my favorite is that firstborn one that I'm calling Lotus, because his personality is crazy. These guys are moving around more than any litter I've ever had, but not in a bad way. But there was a story about that last night while we finally moved into bliss. I realized I wasn't going to be able to sleep, because I thought they were having a mini diarrhea like they had the day before from eating so much, which is also something I'm not used to dealing with. We're going to try this way, guys. We're going to go a different way. But it wasn't diarrhea. It was, it was that day before, but they cleared up on that fast. I think it was just from eating too much. But then yesterday, they just didn't want to be in the Rubbermaid anymore at night, and Daisy didn't want them there. So I couldn't fall asleep from like 9 to 11, and finally I thought I just got to risk it, and I took him completely out of the Rubbermaid, had him be in the whelping pen, and Daisy got in there with him. She stayed there almost the entire night, and she would once in a while come to the bed, but they were all just in heaven. You couldn't have heard a noise, a peep, and I think my guy's probably gained some weight this morning. I'm going to check him. But anyway, yeah, my odds-on favorite out of this so far, which I can't help. You always have a little bit of a favorite, but then you love them all, and then they're your favorites for other reasons. But the first one would be this guy, Lotus, which is the theme of the litter now. Of course, it's flower power, but I'm also calling him Shasta's No Mud, No Lotus, because, of course, that's the exact situation. You can't get this joy and amazement at the wonder of nature and life without some complications sometimes. And as bad as it was to have that all happen, and it seemed like a nightmare at the moment, because if you're a planner, you're 8 steps ahead wondering how you're going to raise a litter of 8 or 9 puppies. But luckily that didn't have to happen, and the bliss is now just so great. So anyway, he's Lotus, and he is, like I say, they're all, oh, sorry, Dookie, here I come. They're all very active. She jumped in. It's so much water out here. Come on, guys. They're very, very active, but, and I'll stop this in a minute because I want to focus on the transition with the neighbor, even more so than most litters. But that guy, my God, from day 3 was nursing like an absolute pro, and like the first one to the table, and just like the big king of everything. So he's hilarious. Lotus, he's blue, and so we got about 4 blues, I think. I can't remember now because I'm so tired. I think is it 5 blues and 4 blues and left 3 reds. And the 2 that did pass, ironically, were the most colorful of the litter. We had one marked a lot like Daisy. That was our Minty. And then the one that passed immediately was a red and white pied, really pretty. So, oh my God, you guys, I thought my shoe was coming off again, and it might be. This weather is crazy. Anyway, all right. Yeah, it is. I think, oh my God, the base of my shoe is coming off again. All my shoes are falling apart, which is hilarious, sort of, but I got to get to the car before I make it a laughing matter. All right, I'm going to turn this off. All right, see ya.